Hello, how are you?
Ah, there he is. Oh man. Wow, where are you?
I'm at home in Riverside, California.
Oh, stop it. Oh,
Just daughter swimming, and I'm just chilling. Did some work earlier today, got some housework done, and now I'm just kind of hanging with you and watching her, and that's pretty cool.
look at the view, you lucky devil.
I know, right? This is pretty rad. I live in it's kind of desert out here, so that view is deceiving. It looks so lush and whatever, but yeah, I'm super fortunate that I don't have neighbors that are I have neighbors obviously, but it's kind of nice to have that be as my backdrop, man. I can't complain. It's pretty cool.
Mate. I pardon my surroundings. My surroundings are far less glamorous than yours.
Ah, well.
And I'm recovering from the dreaded man flu, so I'm gonna require you to be about
Oh, bro.
25% more charismatic to make up for the you're up.
Okay, I can try, bro. I can try. All we can do is try, man. So I hope you're feeling better, dude.
Thank you, man. Hey, look, dude, as someone who was 16 years old in 2001, this just keeps getting more and more surreal. I finally got to see Limp Bizkit in December last year. Mudvayne toured with
Oh,
Cold
nice.
Chamber. Orgy
Oh,
is
nice.
coming at the end of the year. And now Alien Ant
Well,
Farm. Like, are we in a time vortex? Because I'm here for it.
I guess, yeah, yeah. I'm here for it too, man. I think that's great. That's cool. That just calling, yeah, as you called out those band names, I was kind of like had even just some moments of um the last little bits of the Sunset Strip style days. I remember seeing like Cold Chamber at like the Coconut Teaser, the Opium Den, like these little crappy rooms. No offense to the rooms, they weren't crappy, but these little hole in the wall venues that just had so much life in them back then. When I remember seeing Cold Chamber and just being like, "Wow, this is grimy and dirty and in all the right ways."
Oh man, yeah, it's I so you're coming down at the start of next year. Um
February, I believe. Yeah.
yeah. Um so Jimmy Wah, my friend who runs Sense Music Media with me, he'll be covering you in Sydney. Now he wanted me to tell you that you were the first international band he ever saw at the Channel V thing in Fox Studios. And
Okay.
he said that he will throw his panties on stage if you play Summer, or he'll throw his panties
Oh,
at you if you don't play Summer. I can't remember what the track
eh,
was exactly. What's going to motivate you more?
eh, oh, damn, we haven't even been playing that song.
Oh
I love
no!
it. Maybe we could try to do it. Maybe I'll just meet up. Maybe we can do an acoustic set for him, something mini or something grand. I don't know. Maybe we'll throw it in the set. It's not in the set right now. That's still a long ways away. So at least there's going to be one person chiming in my ear, just like saying, "Come on, what about summer? What about that jam?" I love those verses. It's a cool song.
Um, it's funny, obviously, a lot of people, will know their first exposure to you might have been Smooth Criminal, but the real ones, mate, they remember the clip for Movies. That was the first track of yours that I
First
heard.
single. Yeah,
Yeah, and I fell
yeah,
in
yeah,
love with it. Um,
yeah. It's cool. I remember we kind of started out as more of I don't know, jazz metal, weird. I don't know. We just didn't know what we were stylistically. And I remember we were writing and recording with a man named Jim Wirt, who'd done like the Incubus science record. He done some cool stuff, Jim did. And he really loved Amp Farm. I mean, he couldn't explain why. He just like musicianship, everything was there, but the songs. And he was really just straightforward about that. We just didn't know what we were doing when it came to songwriting. And maybe he was trying to offend us, you know what I mean? But he said, go home and kind of come back with your version of a great pop song, and took our time and we came back with movies, and he was like, "Yo, I knew you could do it. I knew you could do it." So felt like it was we wrote a song for Jim Wirt, man, and I love it. I feel like we kind of hit a home run there, and probably never would have even existed if Jim didn't tell us to go write a song that made sense, you know?
That chorus just it screams like road trip, like a shot from a Hollywood movie around the time of like, a helicopter shot following
Yeah,
teenagers on a road
yeah,
trip or
yeah, yeah.
something. It's just, yeah. Mm.
That's cool, man. That's awesome.
So I understand, mate, that you were early in your career, you were in a bus crash and you busted your neck. What was the recovery for that like?
It was crazy. It was a lot of physical therapy, a lot of in the earliest days of it, it was just a lot of wondering. I didn't know. Not a lot of people break their C2 and still walk. You're usually every time it's just a given. You're paraplegic or quadriplegic if you break C2, and even doctors still to this day when they see, is this correct? Because they even think that it's a typo or something, So yeah, it was a lot of just wondering, and that was my fear. I remember finding a forum. I found a pen pal in a police officer from Florida. I wanted to ask questions about my injury or what to expect, kind of thing, and it was cool to reach out to this guy. He was really cool. He knew the band and stuff, so that was he found it kind of charming that I was just reaching out as a stranger to ask him questions about, I guess, in a selfish way. I just wanted to know what was about to happen to me in the next 6 months or next year and all that. Um, yeah, it was just a bad time. Our driver died, and one of my best friends that was out with us got really, really hurt, and yeah, it was just a weird time. And my recovery again was just a lot of physical therapy, just learning how to move my neck again because they fused my 1 and 2. So I was fearful. It felt so atrophy stiff that I thought I was going to snap my neck by just moving my neck. So I remember in the early days when they would say, okay, like with the towel, like moving your head left or right. I remember I was moving my eyes, and they're like, no, dude, you're not moving your neck at all. You're moving your eyes to the left and to the right. So anyways, weird time, and it was cool to get over it. And I remember um that was coming off of our first record, so it was just a shot in the gut to think that we had risen so fast and so far so quickly to just kind of come down with the crazy neck injury and bus crash. And when the guys saw, I was the first one that was started showing any signs of new songs I was writing. I kind of got Pro Tools and a little bit of a recording room going as my recovery was going on. I think the guys, once they knew I was ready, we started again, and it was awesome because our second record, we got to go in the studio with Robert and Dean DeLeo from Stone Temple Pilots, and that was like crazy. I almost once we got in secured, like having those two giants in the room, I started to get nervous, going, "Wow, this is supposed to be like." I don't know. I just felt like I was under a microscope or something because those guys are just used to elite level rock and roll. And all of a sudden I found myself nervous walking into the room to do that stuff. But through the bus crash and all that came Robert and Dean, and came an extended life for Alien Ant Farm. So I almost like have feelings of warmth towards such a negative thing,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, totally. You're just gonna bear me with me 1 second. I'm just gonna lean to the side and blow my nose, so I'm not doing it on Zoom.
You're good. You're
Right.
good.
Pardon me. Now, mate, one thing I didn't know about you guys is that, and I hope I'm getting the terminology right, you're down with the clown till you're dead in the ground. You guys did the gathering of the Juggalos.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was pretty crazy. We've known them here and there throughout the years. Just interacted with the two of them as people, and they were always cool guys, fans of the band, and yeah, it was just, I don't know. It can go one of two ways. You're either accepted or you're not, you know? So it's funny. It's kind of interesting learning all these weird rules about, when you go on there. I didn't know that audience had so much power, which is kind of cool in a way, I guess, that their family has probably more power than ICP themselves. So yeah, I remember someone telling me like before, not that I'm a big, I don't really curse that much, but I'm not opposed to cussing or anything. But I remember someone told me, don't cuss a lot. They hate it, and I'm like, well, how you're telling me the ICP fans are get pissed off if you cuss? I was just laughing because I was just the hypocrisy or the ridiculousness of it all, which I just found fascinating. Don't say whoop whoop. They hate it. I like that's all they fucking say, or it was beautiful, dude. So at least I knew my place and didn't want to like step on any toes, and we just went out there and did our thing, and at least that crowd was nice that day. I mean, we might do it another day, and they hate our guts. You never know which way the clown wind blows.
That is so weird to me because I got introduced to them through this fantastic little mini doco called American Juggalo. It's about 15 minutes long. It's on Vimeo.
Yeah,
If you haven't seen it, I very much
yeah.
recommend it.
I want to watch it, but yeah, I've been around some really odd experiences through Juggalos, and it's fascinating, man. It's pretty. It's yeah. I don't. Go ahead.
Because yeah, if one thing that doco has taught me is that they like to swear their heads off, and they love saying whoop whoop. So that is bizarre that those were two rules.
Yeah,
Maybe because you were
yeah. Well, maybe
inside.
that's the thing, or I think maybe they just sense the cheesiness of if you feel like you're doing it to win them over, then you're fuck you kind of thing,
Yeah.
and I get that. I kind of get that. You don't want your I don't know. You don't want your mom coming up and using your slang, or well, all of a sudden it's just like, what the fuck is this? So
Yeah, that is completely fair. Yeah. So
mhm.
what as a band that is famous for doing a cover that is on par with the original, what do you think? What are some of your favorite covers, and what do you think makes a good one?
What's one of my favorite covers? Hmm. Oh, probably. I was just trying to think of something. That Phil Collins, "Can't Hurry Love."
Hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty bomb. Um, I don't know, man. I think just what makes it great is just I don't know, a little bit of the artist that's covering it, like staying true to the original, but somehow finding that perfect kind of recipe where you can again, it's like the Juggalo thing, where it's like you can't put so much of you into it that it feels forced and then everyone knows you're full of shit kind of thing. I feel
Yeah.
like there's got to be a little, there's got to, because anyone can cover any song and then it either works or it doesn't. And it's not that hard to go find any song and on YouTube or however with your own trained ear, you figure it out and you put it out. And either works or it doesn't. So we were lucky enough to where it just kind of maybe right place, right time. The same song today might feel a little weird and forced and who gives a crap, but in that summer on those radio stations with my stupid slit on my head or whatever it was, all the little things and the formulas that combined and a mass amount of people that were like thought, yeah, this is cool, this is fun, this is a band. When I always prided us on the fact that we weren't trying to be that rock and roll always felt like a little forced and check me out how cool and dark I am, and I never really bought into it. Although I do love metal so much, so I shouldn't say I never bought into it. I fully bought into it. I just never saw myself as one of those cool guys, I guess.
And I think that's very evident. That's one of the things that struck me when I saw the music videos for movies. And you were just this goofy dude, At one point, I think you had your hands in, you're just doing like mad claps.
Yeah, yeah. yeah, it's to my own detriment. Who knows? Maybe we could have gone way further if I kind of was like that dark, thoughtful guy. But I was just too excited to be playing the game, bro. And this was my version of a frontman, which a frontman I am not. But we get away with it somehow. There's charm there and there's realness there, and I've always appreciated that we did it kind of our way. It felt good like that.
Have you, I think you might have alluded to it in one of your previous answers, but have you had any pushback in recent years with, covering Michael Jackson?
Nah, not really. I'm not enough not to know it. I've been naive or just blind to it. I mean, I've been told my whole life either that I love that song, it's freaking amazing that you guys did it, and I've heard the flip side. That is the shittiest fucking way to get a record deal. You guys are the worst band in the fucking world, and who the hell? Why is this even a thing? So you got to have a little bit of thick skin and just like, well, there is a band behind that song, whether you like it or not. And the band is kind of knows how to play their instruments and fancies themselves as pretty decent songwriters, and so we just kind of go with it, bro.
Yeah.
We aren't for everyone, but we have enough fans that we'd always the more the merrier. But we've made it our own little unique adventure throughout the years, and I have to credit the song for 80%, 85% of that.
Yeah. Hey, you're going through your headphones, hey? So your daughter can't hear what I'm saying?
No, she cannot.
Okay.
And she would, it's not a big deal. But go
Okay.
ahead.
Cool, cool. Look, this isn't meant to be a gotcha moment, but in all the Googling of the band, one issue came up and it never got a resolution. Did your legal stuff get sorted?
Oh yeah, I mean that was funny. I guess I had grabbed a dude's hand and it went towards my genitals,
Uh,
and it was someone's idea. I have to imagine at a money grab of some sort. Uh, no pun intended with the grab. Um, I mean, I just got legal representation and we kind of went through the motions. And I basically just said, rather than fight it, I knew that, I'm sorry that I grabbed you, bro, and, or grabbed your hand for that matter. It was funny to just see the comments, just saying, this is ridiculous. I felt like the public had answered for me as I scrolled down and saw everyone thinking, this is complete insanity. But yeah, I mean, I guess it went away in the sense that, I basically just asked someone to show up somewhere on my behalf rather than me fly to Florida and say, hey, what's the next step? So I had an attorney do that. And yeah, I think it was over and done with.
good, good, good. Yeah, I like what you're saying about the comments. I think that the first one I saw was, my God, people of today would not survive the 80s.
Well, again, yeah, I love to just read like the way some of the headlines were that the morning I woke up when I didn't know what had even happened. It's painted so like it just sounds pervy all the way around, and then when you see what went down and that it was with that it was with a man, it's I don't know, man. It just here I am. Okay, I guess I have no other comments. I probably do it again. That's how stupid it was, and how stupid I am. I'm doing it in Australia. Okay.
Yeah, send it. I'll be front row. You can do whatever you want. Send it.
Cheers, man. So
Um,
there we are.
no, it's funny, isn't it, that they made such a big deal about that. And well, granted, they also made a big deal about this. Do you remember when the chick from Brass Against brought a bloke on stage and pissed in his mouth?
Yeah, I saw that was pretty nuts. But I mean, gosh, the seedy world of rock ain't for everyone. But I guess that's taken it to some extremes. But or no pun intended with streams either.
You're on fire. And it's funny when that happened because obviously that was coming out of COVID, and bands we were just people were just starting to get back on the road. And the first thing I thought of when I saw that was, excellent, rock's dangerous again after COVID.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's one way. Yeah, that's one way to make it dangerous, man. That's biohazard, you know? That's awesome. I love it. I love it.
What? That's the headline. Alien ant farm on urination. I love it. You're welcome. What
I love it. That's it.
how did you guys come to be touring with CKY?
Well, we've been just through the years of booking agencies and stuff. Names get thrown up, and sometimes we just usually it's not an issue. It's not, but there's been a few bands where we just don't feel, and I can't even name them. It's not like we hate them or anything, but through the years we get offered something like, I don't know if we really fit with them, or I just don't see us doing that. And CKY was a name that was brought to our attention more than once, and I've always been like, yeah, I'm down for that. Seems like it makes sense. I don't know that we sound the same in any way, but I love those guys were pretty cool riff writers. I never saw them more like as a singing type band. I always just listened to their like riffs, but they had that kind of moments of reminding me of bands like Clutch, which I totally love. Just super like bluesy riff writing. Yeah, so when their name got mentioned, I was excited to do it. In fact, a couple of years ago, we were supposed to do an Australia run with CKY the first time it got brought. I think right before COVID, and what it wasn't COVID wasn't the reason it didn't happen. I don't know why it didn't kind of fell apart, but yeah, the names come up more than once, and I was always down to do it. So it'll be nice to like finally even meet those guys. We haven't even met. We're doing a UK and Europe run with them as well in October. So it's we're gonna get plenty of hang time before we even get to Australia. Hopefully, we become friends.
Yeah. So, uh, again, as someone who, as I mentioned, was 16 in 2001, and I found one of my old school books with all the band logos drawn on them and stuff, and I realized the
Oh
other
hell yeah!
day, holy shit, I've interviewed almost everyone on almost every
Oh, that's
band on this.
cool.
Like,
That's awesome.
um,
That's really cool.
what do you make of like this kind of resurgence of new metal in the last few years? Because when I saw Limp Bizkit, I was shocked that half of the crowd seemed to be in their early 20s. And I'm like, were you even born when hot dog flavored water came out? Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah. I've seen some young crowds too. And we just did a U.S. run about 37 shows or something. We got a lot of shows under our belt with this new album with songs off of it, and just seeing again like I was ready for 40 something year old crowds, which is fine by me too. That's my demo. I'm gonna sing when at my age when those songs came out. That was like our whole I feel like our whole fandom and everything was like my little crew, our crew. So that's what I expect to see, I guess, as we grow. But yeah, seeing some younger people there is nothing but positive. I love it. It's awesome.
yeah. Um, Mate, this has been
I don't
fantastic.
know. I don't know the resurgence. I feel like it's maybe cyclical. I guess maybe if it was a '70s band like early '80s band like Blondie, have to think in maybe the 2000s that maybe she was hitting a season or two of hotness all over again, and maybe that's kind of what's happening for these new metal bands. And then I'll take it.
I do love that you see kids, you know how fashion goes in a cycle about every 20 years. And I'm loving that
Mm-hmm.
now all of a sudden girls are getting around with the crop top, the midriff tops and the cargo pants like they've just invented it. And I'm like,
Yeah,
bitch, please.
yeah, yeah. That's awesome, man.
Oh dear. Mate, Dryden, thank you so much, man. This has been lovely to talk to you and I really appreciate your candor. Mate,
Yeah, yeah, dude.
yeah, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you in Brisbane. So Yeah, man.
Yeah, if you come to the show, please come say hi, give a hug, give a high five. Don't not too long of a hug. I don't want to get any charges pressed on me. You know.
I won't complain. I won't complain. Mate, enjoy your day.
That's awesome.
Have a
Cheers,
great,
brother. Thanks for your time. Thanks for the conversation, bro.
no worries, mate. Have a great day.